But Andrew, before we move on, again, we're coming off 12 years of Bloomberg, okay? And there's substance and there's style, but unfortunately they're intertwined. He's going to have no political honeymoon. We've all talked about the union contracts on his desk. Just a simple point of comparison. Whatever you thought of Bloomberg, and I know some at the table aren't crazy with a lot of things he did, and I take issues with some of them as well. There was the imperialness and all the rest of it. But you imagine for a second, if his press sec was going to be carrying on with an affair with a still married Spitzer, and I don't care about all the drama of it, but it was going to be a front page story in the tabloids here. Do you think that person would still be employed? Time out. And do you think that person would have known to go to the mayor and say,
had every right to live his life the way he wanted to do, lived with a woman, a very fine, very intelligent, very talented woman, without the benefit of matrimony? The governor of the state of New York is doing the same thing. Get a life, everybody.
But it doesn't work that way, Richard. In the real world, it's going to be a front page story in the news.
Is it front page for the governor or the mayor that they were living with women they weren't married to?
In the real world, there is no way she can serve as press secretary.
Right.
There's
he
no way
doesn't want to hear
at
that,
all.
but that's the truth.
She has no credibility to serve as press secretary anymore.
De Blasio hasn't been sworn in yet, and he's going to be graded not on what happens in terms of the personal lives of his family or his aides. It's going to be whether he can get the things done for the city that he promised to get done for the city, whether he can get his agenda through. Where this stuff is a problem for him is that it takes away some of his political leverage because he's not getting any breathing room from the press. He's got, you know, he's got no mandate whatsoever from the press.
From Cuomo and Bloomberg, who are trying to set him up to be Cuomo light or Bloomberg light.
I agree.
It is not. This was going to disappear. This is of interest on this set and in 2 other places.
Oh, please.
Well, and that's a
You're kidding yourself.
I don't agree that it's of limited interest.
Yeah,
I agree that it's of limited relevance.
How this stuff is, how it will be defined.
Richard, why do you think it came out the way that it did? And see, that's what the problem is for de Blasio. Because journalists are now saying, okay, the guy is slick, and we got to keep an eye on him.
And by the way,
That's
brilliantly
what
handled how they did it on Christmas Eve. Let's be honest.
Slick,
Video and everything else.
This has nothing to do with whether his daughter had substance abuse and clinical depression problems.
So why not reveal it before you're elected?
Why reveal it at all? Why never reveal it? Why reveal
Well, he had to reveal it. Every reporter in
Get
town,
a life,
every reporter on his beat knew what was going on.
But the more there is of this kind of stuff,
And
the
that's
less
not
oxygen
it.
there
That's
is for
not
his
it. There's
agenda
more.
to get through.
Yeah.
Wrong. People will judge him the way they always judge people in office,
Except
whether the quality of their lives has improved.
But Richard, where you're missing this from Mount Olympus is his family compact, okay, this modern family aspect. The wife who talked about being a lesbian and that never got really resolved. The son with the afro that became the symbol of the campaign. The daughter now. They put this front and center. I mean, think about it for a second. Did we even know Bloomberg's daughter's names? I still don't even know them.
Well,
before
Richard,
when he ran.
He put it front and center because his campaign would have been over if the press got a hold of it first.
So you can't turn around and say, I don't really care, honestly. I wish the daughter well. I don't think it should impact his ability to govern. You're missing my point. But it doesn't matter what I think. It matters is what's going to sell newspapers and what's going to be a talking point. People now know about this kid, whether it's fair or unfair, and is going to define it. I, like you, agree that in many ways, the way it was handled so far, you couldn't have done a better job with a very tough story. We wish her obviously a speedy recovery. But you don't have too many chances to define yourself in the beginning when you're attempting to try and recalibrate the idea of a tale of two cities.
He's going to give an inaugural address. His inaugural address is going to focus on his message. That's what's going to happen.
It's as easy to take Mike's point and say this will humanize him. He's a mayor like us, not a billionaire who can fly anywhere with whoever he wants and not tell anybody. This is a cosmic non-story.
Okay, how about this? In terms of governing style, and in terms of whatever we liked or didn't like about Bloomberg, there was a machine aspect to it, where he could hire the top deputy mayors that you could pay for, even if he had to go in his own pocket to supplement the numbers. There was no drama with it. He got it done. He may have been prickly. He may have been all the other adjectives, fair or unfair, that were attached to him. But it ran like a machine and was always on message.
He has the virtues of being a billionaire who can buy his way through any problem.
But that's my only point. For 12 years, that's what New Yorkers have been used to.
Well, they're going to have to get used to something different. A guy who looks and acts like people we know in the street. It's not such a bad thing. The New Yorkers can handle it, believe me.
I think you're understating the substance. I really do. I think that the substance has to be dealt with. You don't run the kind of campaign and get 73% of the vote in New York on a platform of dealing with income inequality,
I
dealing
agree with
with universal pre-K, and those issues just evaporate overnight because his daughter has a drug problem, which most people relate to. It's in every family.
He hit on a message that we're starting to see resonating, and he'll tell you, in cities like the Syracuses and the Rochesters and in other places around the state. But to be a messenger and to have that message work, people have to look at you and say, listen, like him or not, I had competency for the last 12 years at a Gracie Mansion or out of the mayor's office.
That's not true. People like George Bush and viewed him as incompetent.
No.
People,
You're going to compare Bush and Bloomberg, really?
The other way around. The other way around.
I think what you're missing is another point. He ran against Bloomberg, and he got 73% of the vote 2 months ago. Bloomberg was the guy who he was comparing
I think
himself
you're overstating Joe Lota. He was running against really a non-competitive race.
73% against nobody is a good turn.
But the point remains that there is a reservoir of people in the city who may feel positive about Bloomberg and the image of New York that he projected, but still recognize that there have to be fundamental changes in tax policy and education policy in the state. And I think that de Blasio has a wonderful opportunity, and I disagree with the notion that he can't take Cuomo on. I think Cuomo was very vulnerable.
I'll give you the last word on this one. You've seen a lot of officials been taken down by baggage. No one's alleging right now that the family issues that he's dealing with compare at all to what we saw with the Spitzers or Nate or Phil in the long litany and the Wieners and the rest of them. However, you know how the press corps works in New York City. Everybody's looking for something now, right? And there were unanswered questions during the campaign, right?
Funny you use those exact words. I respect what these gentlemen are saying, but what's happening right now, the day after Christmas, at this very hour, reporters assigned to City Hall, what do you think they're doing at this very moment? They're going through every detail of Bill de Blasio's life because there's a belief now that he can't be trusted, that you've got to raise your eyebrow on everything that's said, as should be the case with every mayor. But they're looking right now. The story about the wife's sexual orientation, it's got a nice little bow on it. Well, what do you think reporters are looking for right now? They're looking for a lover of the mayor's soon-to-be wife. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. Yep. They're looking for all these details.
And whether it's the ugly part of this or not, it's a part of this, whether we like to hear it.
And they're going to find the lover.
Yeah. Get a life.
Yeah, sounds good. Unfortunately, I wish it worked that way. I don't think it does. Well, we come back here. Has the bully charm worn off in New Jersey? I'm wondering if Richard still thinks this doesn't matter either. Chris Christie, not known for pulling punches, gets hit with some of his own. Is being a political bully really just another way of saying that he's getting things done here, or has he gone too far here for his own good? We're going to get into that as RFL continues. But first, season's greetings here from the men and women in our armed forces who remain away from home serving our nation this holiday season.
Hi, my name is Master Sergeant Ed Conrad from RAF Lakenheath. We want to wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays to all our friends and family in Freehold, New Jersey.
Merry
Christmas! Bye.